This is Victor with PianoForLearners.com, and today I want to give kind of an overview about chord music, what it is, what's the big deal about it, why does it make it so much easier to learn how to play instruments and piano and all these other things. And but first I want to start out with, I want to play a chord progression that is a song that many people probably know, and if not, at the end of the teaching I'll go ahead and tell you what the song is. So here's the song. All right. Can you figure out what that song is? At the end, I'll play it again and I'll tell you what the name of the song is, and hopefully you'll be able to hear it. It's amazing that with chord music, really you're not playing everything that there is to play, musically speaking, in a song. You're playing notes that kind of, they create a structure or a support system, and that's the thing about chord music. A chord is typically at least made up of three notes. Three single notes being played at the same time that are usually harmonizing with each other. So that would be a chord. Anyway, melodies are the part of a song that are the part that you usually hum or that you sing. It's a melody. It's the words to the song usually are the melody of the song, and the chords are like the background music. Anyway, so the first thing about reading music or playing an instrument, it's important to know and to realize that reading music and playing an instrument are not the exact same thing. You can actually play an instrument without knowing how to read music. You don't have to be able to read music to play an instrument. Matter of fact, a lot of people that play instruments don't know how to read music. Not at least what we're talking about when I say reading music. Most of the time, I've found when I've asked people, what are you thinking about? When I say, can you read music? Most people say, no, I can't read music. But usually what they're thinking of in their mind is something that has what we might call musical notation. You have the notes and the lined paper and all these different symbols and things, and that is music. But actually that is called sheet music. And the reason that this is important is because one of the things that I like to teach people how to read is something called chord music. And chord music is very different than sheet music. Sheet music is like a map that has a ton of details on it. It has every bit of information that you want to know about. And on this little animation video thing, you should see on your screen an example of sheet music that is actually for a version of Mary Had a Little Lamb. And I'm going to play that for you right now. The sheet music basically has this. Okay, that's what the sheet music has written on it. It has a lot of information to tell you how to get from point A to point B and all the details in between. It literally tells a person who understands how to read sheet music how much time they should hold each note down, everything. Chord music is very flexible. If sheet music is the rule, then chord music is the guide. And it's really easy to learn how to play chord music because chord music usually has the words to a song, and above the words to the song you'll see like letters. And they're not everywhere, they're just above key words. And what that means is that's the chord that should be played when the words that are underneath that letter are being sung, for example. So on the Mary Had a Little Lamb example, it would be something like this as far as what we're looking at. It would be something like this. Mary had a little lamb, little lamb, little lamb. Mary had a little lamb whose fleece was white as snow. Now that's one interpretation of how you could play that chord music for Mary Had a Little Lamb, where the sheet music has each little point very, very specifically telling you how long do you play each note, when do you play each note, when do you change to the next one. The chord music is very general in terms. Anyway, I can teach anybody, I think, just about how to read chord music and how to play chord music on the piano or keyboard. It's not at all as complicated as it may sound or as you might think it is. And of course, like with most skills, because we're talking about a skill, it's something that can be learned. Some of these things are going to take practice and practice and practice. And you probably know people that have learned how to play the piano for years and years, and they probably still can't play whatever they feel like playing. But with chord music, it's different, because I'm not going to teach you everything there is to know about the piano or everything there is to know about music theory and reading sheet music and all the different symbols and stuff. I'm going to simply teach you how to read chord music and show you how to find chord music to whatever song you'd like to find it to. And then how do you simplify it? If it is complicated, how do you simplify it? And then once you have it in front of you, what steps do you take to go ahead and understand what you have to play and how to play it? And then you're going to practice playing it. Actually, with chord music and learning how to read and play chord music for the piano, for example, you're going to spend a lot more time actually practicing your playing and practicing playing the music you want to play instead of all the other stuff. And so that's a lot of times what happens. People get frustrated when they have to learn the skill of how to play an instrument and also the skill of how to read sheet music and also all the studying that it takes to learn music theory and understand all these different other things that apply in order to understand all these other things. It can be overwhelming, and that is usually what stops people from continuing and learning how to play and enjoy music and learn how to play an instrument. So if you'd like to learn how to play chord music on the piano or keyboard, then I would encourage you, go to the website pianoforlearners.com and look into the information that's there. There's different examples. If you go to free lesson of the week, there's even samples of the workbook, playing chord music on the piano. It's also entitled, how to play chord music or how to play the piano, playing the piano for the rest of us, for example. Anyway, I hope you enjoy this, and I hope you understand the difference between sheet music and chord music. And in that example of Mary Had a Little Lamb, with the chord music, if I wanted to, I could even play it this way. See, you really have a lot of flexibility with chord music. So I hope you give it a try sometime. I hope you have questions. Email me your questions. I'll be happy to try and answer if I can. Other than that, if you would, go to pianoforlearners.com. Go to the website where it has the free samples, and there's even a worksheet that you can do to learn the names of the white keys, to learn the names of the keys on the piano keyboard. And if you can go ahead and learn, there's only 7 names. Think about it. The alphabet in English has 26 letters. The piano keyboard uses only 7 of them, and then they repeat up and down the keyboard. If you can learn C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and then it starts over again with C, that's the alphabet that you have to learn to understand the keyboard. If you learn that, by the time of our next lesson, I'm going to start teaching you how to build chords. What the chords are, when you look at chord music and you see that capital letter sitting in front of you, what does that mean? How do you find out what keys to press on the keyboard? And by the end of all these lessons, hopefully you'll be able to understand how to play chord music on the piano or keyboard, or at least the beginnings of it. The workbook has all of this step by step with very long, detailed MP3s that go with it. Okay, now, the song at the beginning. It's called "The Battle Belongs to the Lord." And it goes like this. "In heavenly armor we'll enter the land. The battle belongs to the Lord. No No weapon that's fashioned against us will stand. The battle belongs to the Lord, and we sing glory.